Hi guys, my name is Lucia, and today I want to talk about the fantasy versus reality of a no-buy. If you are not familiar with a no-buy, it is just what it sounds like. It's where for a period of time you don't buy something of a certain category. So for example, right now I am on a makeup no-buy that I have been on since Thanksgiving. I will link my last update down below, and I will be doing another update in the near future. But a lot of people on YouTube and offline are doing a year-long no-buy. Hannah Poston is a YouTuber who did a year-long no-buy last year where she didn't buy anything. She is not the first person to do a year-long no-buy, but she gained a ton of attention for that, and she totally deserves it. Her channel is amazing. I'll link her down below. Because of her and others like her, a lot of people this year are doing a year-long no-buy where they don't buy anything. I have done two no-buys in the past before this one. They were both 4 months long. One was about a year and a half ago, and one was probably 3 years ago at this point. And they were very different from the no-buy that I'm doing right now, and I've noticed some really interesting things about this no-buy that I really wanted to discuss with you guys. So I want to preface this by saying, at the end of the day, I really believe in no-buys. I think they are fabulous tools. There is such a benefit to them. There's just certain things that I think we expect that don't happen, and that's what I want to talk about today. The main thing I'm going to focus on today is what I'm going to call the rush. And what I mean by that is when you go to purchase a new thing, you get a rush. There's some sort of chemical thing that happens in your body. I'm not really familiar with that, but you get this rush of excitement. And when I watch minimalism videos where people talk about either decluttering or how their no-buy is going or what they've learned, I get a similar rush to when I used to watch years and years ago a bunch of haul videos. When I was going through my makeup addiction and the height of my wanting to buy everything, I would watch hauls constantly, and I got this rush of my life would be so much better if I had these things. And when I watch minimalism videos, even though I am not a minimalist, I practice a lot of minimalism things, and I get a similar rush. Wow, my life would be so good if I did this, or oh, I do this, but hearing them talk about that gives me such a rush. Both kinds of videos, hauls and minimalism videos, are showing a change in lifestyle in order to achieve happiness. It's just completely opposite sides of the spectrum. So one is showing excess buying to achieve happiness, and one is showing appreciating what you already have in order to achieve happiness. But both of them are changing your current state of being in order to achieve something. The two no-buys that I did in the past were very different than the no-buy I did right now, because during both of those times I was in the process of either rapidly decluttering my collection. The first time I did a no-buy, I barely even had time to register that I was on a no-buy because I was decluttering so much of my collection. And then the second time I did a no-buy, I was still in the height of my project panning, where I had so many things that were almost gone or that I wanted to use up. And this no-buy is a little bit different, because while I do declutter and I'm constantly decluttering, I don't have this great amount of stuff that I need to purge from my collection. It's just a couple things here and there. And the same kind of goes for project panning. While I still do project panning, I don't have one currently, but I did one that finished on Christmas. While I still project pan, and I love project panning, it's not the same tool that it used to be. It used to be kind of the swoop to get everything in my collection out that needed to go, and now I'm in this state where I really use more or less the same products each day, aside from maybe lips and eyes, and I don't necessarily need to use them up because I don't own many things in each category. So going back to the rush, when I declutter or I use up a product, I get that same rush. It's not necessarily the same as buying a new product because that's a lot of excitement, but I get so much joy and excitement from either getting rid of stuff I don't like or from using something up and knowing I got my money's worth. But simply not shopping is different because nothing is changing in your collection necessarily. You can certainly do declutters and do project pans while you're on a no-buy, but the act of not shopping only consists of not buying things. People always talk about how not buying things and being a minimalist gives you a deeper appreciation of what you already own, and I have found 100% truth to that. Since I have become a more conscious consumer and I have purchased less things, I have found a very deep appreciation for the things that I already own. Also, using what you own on a daily basis gives you more insight to who you are as a person because it teaches you what you like and what you don't like. However, Despite growing to love your collection and love the things that you own, there's no rush to that. It's kind of like when you start a new relationship and you're in that puppy dog phase and you get butterflies when you see the person and there's this rush of excitement, and then when you've been with someone for a year or 2 years and you love them deeply and you appreciate them and you feel comfortable, but there's no initial rush of, oh my god, I'm so excited, there's no butterflies left. As material items, we don't consider them to be things that are going to stay in our lives long enough to become these deeply loved things. We don't acknowledge them the same way we do people because everything is so materialistic and it's so easy to just buy new things. We as consumers constantly want the rush, and we don't care so much about getting to that final state of truly loving something, using something every day to the point where it makes you happy and it makes you comfortable, because getting to that point often isn't as exciting as the constant rush of going to a store and spending 20 minutes and getting that instant gratification of buying a new thing. So like I mentioned, the other 2 times I did makeup no buys, I was doing things almost every day that would give me a rush. Whether it was using up things that I was having in a project pan or constantly decluttering, I was constantly changing my collection to benefit me and to achieve this ultimate happiness. But now that I am not really decluttering every day or using stuff up for a purpose every day, I'm just using what I love, there's no rush. This was a really weird experience for me because, like I mentioned, when I watch those videos, like if I want to feel a rush of a no-buy, I will go to Hannah Louise Poston's channel and I will watch her videos. They give me that rush. But just in my everyday life, using what I love and appreciating it, there's no rush to that, and that was something that I expected. I expected to be on this no-buy and to feel this rush of being a new person and having this new happiness, and that doesn't happen. The knowledge that you gain from going on a no-buy can be soul-changing, and it usually is. For me, my journey, not necessarily with no-buys, but just my journey in general to becoming a conscious consumer, has made me so aware of myself, and that has brought me so much joy. I already experienced the need to stop buying things and the need to make a big change in my life, and it has been years since I have started to make those changes and have really achieved where I want to be with my collection. So if you are somebody like Hannah who at the beginning of the year had a shopping problem and had these things that they really wanted to see change in, you might not feel the way I feel, but from my perspective, this no-buy hasn't really felt like anything. I don't get a rush from it. And I think that even if you are someone who is going through this big change and who is learning all these things about you, you're not going to experience that same thrill. The sheer thrill of shopping and buying something new isn't replaced by something of an equal feeling when you go on a no-buy. That feeling just goes away. And I think that was the biggest thing that was confusing for me, was I thought that this feeling of going into the store, giving them your money and getting this new thing and taking home your new treasure, I thought that not buying things would give me that equal feeling of having a treasure and holding something dear to your heart. And it doesn't do that. And loving the things you have in your collection, while it is, I think, a more valuable experience than constantly buying new things, it doesn't give you the rush that buying new things does. It just doesn't. It doesn't work that way. Like I said, I think no-buys are amazing. I love that we are in the year of the no-buy. I think that everyone could benefit from doing a no-buy. I just wanted to talk about the fact that sometimes our expectations and our realities are different. I have found myself fantasizing the no-buy and fantasizing things that don't happen in reality, and it's important to then focus on what does happen. I've heard people talk about this before, but often when you stop shopping, there are moments of loneliness, and it goes beyond the fact of you're not buying anything. It is that rush that you're missing. It's almost like withdrawal. You want the rush, and when you're not left with that, when you can't have that, you realize that sometimes life doesn't feel as fulfilling when you're not constantly buying new things, and that makes you reevaluate, okay, so what actually in my life needs to be fulfilled, whether it's your work or your relationships or your self-love. Ingrid Nelson did a video on how she stopped shopping and what it was like. These are the exact things that she described. I will link that video down below, but it's just such an interesting thing to think about, and like always, I am dying to hear your thoughts. Please let me know what you guys think. I know a lot of you are either on no buys or low buys, and even if you're not, if you've ever done something like this, I want to know your thoughts on this subject. I also really hope that I didn't scare anyone from doing a no buy. I just wanted to be honest about my thoughts and share them, because not buying things is a weird experience, and it's definitely different than we can expect it to be. So that is everything for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Don't forget to leave your comments down below, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye.